Hello everyone, welcome to the CNFT.tools Discord server. My name is ToolSin and I am joined by the team from our Princess Ada. We're
Hi
joined
everybody,
by,
my name is Jordan. I'm the community manager for our Princess Ada.
yeah, and I believe that the other fan will be here at some point, but yeah, he's unexpectedly gone offline, so we'll hope that he's able to join us later on. Um, so get some of the bigger questions up and out the way first. As you know, it's being recorded for YouTube, so we like to get the big important stuff out of the way first. Um, so when are you minting and how much? Because I know you're still a little bit away yet. Still.
Yeah, our mint date is set for the 25th of this month. Sorry, 25th of September. Um, so about 4 weeks, a little less than.
Yeah.
And we will have a whitelist sale prior to the public sale for the whitelisters, which we do have a few open spots left. If anyone wants to come over to our Discord, it'll be 100 ADA, and for the public sale, it'll be 120 ADA. And there are 930 pieces available.
So yeah, a fairly low supply item then.
Yeah, there's 1,000 total, and we did a pre-sale last month because the main sale was actually supposed to be this month, but then our CEO Shaz got really sick, so we actually had to push off the main sale for another month. So we
Oh,
did a small
okay.
pre-sale available for 300 of the 1,000 pieces, and only 70 of them sold. So there's still 930 available.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, obviously, I've known or been aware of your project for a considerable amount of time. So, how long ago did it all get started? And you know, the when was the concepts being formed behind it?
So our founders are three engineers who have been working together. Hey, there's Shaz as we
There we
speak.
go.
Are three engineers who have been working together for over a year now on this project. They originally started on the Solana blockchain, but due to its hacks and its cutting down and so on, they decided they needed a more secure place to move their project. And Shaz was already a part of our ecosystem in the Vi Finance um, community. And so he talked to the team and they decided to come over to Cardano for something a little more secure in the blockchain aspect. And I actually met Shaz in the Vi Finance beta testers
Oh wow.
group. We're both beta testers for Vi Finance.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's quite an interesting background there. And welcome, Shaz. If you want to say hello and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, ToolSin, for having us. Sorry, I was a bit late, but yeah, Jordan, thank you for coming early and handling everything. So, yeah, Jordan, go ahead, then I will be explaining a bit more.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
as I said, our founders were started on Solana. They came over to Cardano for the safety and the practicality of it. Um, we met in April, and that's when I joined as a community advisor, just to help them to get integrated into spaces and into our community and meet the right people. And now I've come on as community manager for them. Um, this is the seed fund sale for the future goal of a music focused NFT marketplace. And that is what the team is working on. The princesses were created as a way to not only have more female representation in the NFT community, but as a way for us to have governance tokens. And these will be our utility tokens moving forward. So they will get all of the airdrops. They will get beta test access to the marketplace when that's available. They get all the utility. There's even a unique work to earn payment system where 20% of the revenue from the marketplace will get put aside for the 1,000 holders or for the 1,000 princesses, however many holders of those princesses
Oh
will
wow.
have access to 20% of our ecosystem.
So, I mean, I'm definitely going to want to dive a bit more into the process of how that's divvied up. But you know, obviously, music NFT marketplace is quite an ambitious place to be starting off with as it is. So, I mean, you've been you've got what? So, how many people are on the team altogether?
There is the three founders who are again all engineers. One of which is actually going for his PhD in machine learning.
Nice.
So our developer, our CEO Shaz, and our artist are all the three founding members and are all engineers. Then there is myself and Trevor, who is the developmental side advisor. So I was the community advisor, and he and Trevor was the advisor helping them get our metadata standards and our CIP standards down to get them integrated into our community. And since then, we have now we've expanded out to some to moderators. We have another artist on the team as well as a sound engineer. And all of our NFTs will have music, all 1,000 of them. There's 32 commercially licensed tracks between the 1,000 NFTs.
Are those tracks that you've made yourself, or are they tracks that have been submitted or purchased from various different artists?
These ones were purchased from a licensing company. So these were commercially licensed tracks.
Yeah.
We are looking. We were going to have our sound engineer, our on team sound engineer, make some for some specialty NFTs, and then we decided because we're going forward with a music based marketplace, we wanted to put music on every single one of these NFTs. So we decided to go with the licensing of the track, so it wasn't so much work for our sound engineer.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would have been a whole heck of amount of work, that's for sure.
Yeah, to change it from like 100 NFTs on him to we need music for all 1,000.
Yeah, and yeah, I think you'd have found out some new curse words at that point.
Oh, absolutely.
So you guys have been building for like a year solid now. So how much, sort of like, how close are you towards being able to launch sort of like a launch your marketplace?
We do have some sneak peeks for the UI and the UX. They are still working on it. We are going to let the holders of the princesses help us vote on names and stuff moving forward, and they will get the future beta testing. I do believe, I don't know if Shaz wants to step in, but I think it's set
Basically,
for early of the first quarter of next year.
yeah. So basically, ToolSin, me, I'm a software engineer myself. So I'm mostly in the data science stuff. So I used to work as an analyst for a large six is centralized exchange as well. And then we have our dev. He is the main dev and co-founder. He's this year he's going to, I mean, after a month, he's going to start his PhD in University of Cambridge at a
Oh, nice.
fully funded program. So he's a genius in machine learning and backend development. And then we have our artist. He's an architecture. So architect. He's an architect. So basically, three of us have a good. Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna say we are Haskell experts. We are not Pluto's pioneers. But what you have is a team of problem solvers and two dedicated backgrounds in computer sciences. I mean that is a lot
Yeah.
when you see that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I work with a couple of guys like that, and you know, obviously they're behind tools and everything, and yeah, I know how powerful that type of thing can be when brought to bear.
Exactly. I mean, CNF tool guys are geniuses. I'm not comparing us to them, but what I'm saying that uh, people who are, I mean, founders who has a backgrounds in any kind of IT or technological stuff, technological subject. they tend to have a they tend to know a proper way to manage developers or engineers in their team. So I know how to manage a dev joining in my team. So obviously we're going to hire more experts,
Yeah,
devs who are more experts in Plutos than us, but we know how to manage them, right? So they're not going to. I mean, if we had zero knowledge on how to uh, even basic, even if you have a basic programming skill in any language, you can at least identify some kind of. I mean, you can at least do a review of the code,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you can manage through using Git and other managing tools for developing a proper backend for any technological structure, if that makes sense. So that's the thing we're offering on the table. A a team full of founders with backgrounds in engineering, and basically your question was how long we have been working on the marketplace. Myself, I mean, we have been thinking about dropping the marketplace for, I think, more than a year, not only a year. It has been more than a year, but oh, we didn't find a very good way to uh, get funding, right? We need a
yeah.
little bit of funding at least. And that's why we have this small drop, just 1,000 princesses. I'm gonna come to the part why we're using princesses as an NFT, but the reason for having only 1,000 is that 100K card ADA, and 100K ADA is more than enough to get started and show some results, right? We
Yeah,
are not asking for 10,000 NFTs or 6,000 or 5,000. We calculated some stuff. We have put already 6 months behind the project, and all the founders are going to take around like uh, it's gonna be around like 21% for the team, and the rest is going to go directly to develop the marketplace and our other stuff like the work to earn contract, smart contract. So yeah, did I answer your question?
yes, yeah, very much so. So yeah, I mean, you guys have definitely been putting work in, and yeah, like it's I guess you see it's more like seed funding,
Exactly.
and
It's we
you
are
know,
placing it in the Type C seed funding.
yeah,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. It is definitely seed funding. It's the utility token. So we're going to give it all of the future utility moving forward into the seed funding token.
So the first question that comes to most people that I've certainly seen on TV doing seed investing is, so when are you going to become profitable? And I guess in this case that means like when well how long until the site launches, which you kind of answered already, but also how long until that can become a self sustaining source of revenue.
I mean, the answer to the question, when are we going to be profitable? So, right now, if you participate in our in getting one of those princesses, right? If you have one of those princesses out of 1,000 princes, you're going to be a holder. And the benefit of holder is that you get to participate in the work to earn program. So and the work to earn program is gonna start before the marketplace. It's gonna take, I'm expecting around like a month or so before we can get the contract ready and done. So what's gonna happen? We're gonna eventually, our big vision is to have a legal marketplace which follows AML laws, anti-money laundering laws,
Yeah,
and other uh, national laws depending on which country we incorporate our marketplace into, right? I mean, that's the goal. Even though
yeah,
that might sound funny to you because most of the DEXs, non-custodial wallets, non-custodial exchanges, they don't have a legal background. But we want to do because that protects our future
Yeah, for
seed
sure.
funding, our future investors, also protects us in many ways. So basically, work to earn program will be not at first, but eventually will be under that legal institution or legal company, and it's gonna be a smart contract under a work contract. So the work contract will be a freelancer, and the condition for you is to have one of our NFTs, and the work you have to do to earn is to have fun in the community. So you become active in the community. We'll check and make sure that, I mean, there will be someone overseeing the process that it's is being effectively put into.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's gonna be very easy task. You just need to enjoy and be and participate in our community, right?
that's
And
cool.
eventually, we're gonna also distribute our profit from the second marketplace. I mean, from the buys and sells in secondary marketplaces like JPEG Store. We are already
Yeah,
verified in JPEG Store, and so also there will be certain rewards ratio taken in place.
And to add to that as well, the other like the other profit opportunities that will be available to the holders of this, the princesses, they also do get one-to-one drops. We have our roadmap in our Discord. They also get one-to-one drops from our second drop, which will be a staking token to get our token, to be able to get our FT,
nice.
the future marketplaces token. So they will get one-to-one airdrops on that. There'll be other sneak peeks available to them and other incentives available to just our holders, as well as they'll get whitelist for the seed funding round of buying tokens and stuff as well. So they have a few other little opportunities before the marketplace as well, where they get um, where they get incentivized for holding our princesses as well.
Cool. Um, so what part of the music industry is the marketplace going to be aimed at? Are you going to be aiming for, you know, artists and recognized artists to be launching their singles and their albums, sort of like with you, or is it more for content creators and stuff like that that are perhaps more traditionally in the Cardano space already, or you know,
Well, we are hoping to be a bit of an onboarding system. We will have a pipelining system available for people who are just getting into it, so that they can get some education, they can get some help, they can get taught how to mint to marketplace, and so on and so forth. So there'll be some onboarding tools, as well as we want to get with some established artists. We currently have a collab with Occult Archives and Billy Martin. We have a one of one occult archives princess. Billy Martin's the guitarist for Good Charlotte, as well as an amazing EDM artist.
nice.
Um, we are also taking applications from community artists currently, music artists, such as like Nito and Crime Fighters and stuff. Um, Zipper. He manages two community artists as well that are also going to be that we're talking with about being as our release artists, the artists who are hosted for our release and getting them into our betas as well.
Yeah,
And hopefully the marketplace is going to be all encompassing for the artists, and it is going to be artist focused, so they'll be able to make profiles, they'll be able to release their singles, they'll be able to be approached by projects that are looking for music, so these projects can get an idea of the person, the kind of music they play, listen to one of their NFTs or buy an NFT, and then be able to message them and get in contact so that we can get them working together, so we can see more projects also having music from within our own community.
nice. So, are you going to be able to handle video as well as music? Because obviously, video is a fairly big and essential part of the music industry these days as well.
So I'm gonna answer to that. What Jordan said is absolutely right. So, but we're going to have our market. We are going to have three routes, and one of those routes will be supporting emerging artists. We have a pipeline where we will be funding few artists every month, from marketing to onboarding to Cardano if they are new to Cardano, and then releasing their music NFTs and eventually helping them selling it out, right? That's the
Yeah,
obvious goal.
yeah,
And then we will also have a route for already established musicians to onboard them to Cardano, or if they're already in Cardano, like for example, Billy Martin. I'm not saying Billy Martin is going to launch, but I'm grateful that I have a very good connections with some of the Hollywood stars. But either way, so that's another route where already established artists will release their music on our marketplace. And the final route is all music NFTs, like Ada Ninjas or any kind of music NFTs you think. Like we will be exactly like JPEG Store, but with an extra additions of those two routes.
nice.
And only exception is we will be only taking in music NFTs. That's the thing. So if you
Okay.
love Ada Ninjas, you can. I'm sorry. Did you say something?
Oh no, I was just no, I was just saying okay because I was understanding what was being said.
Yeah, exactly. So, eight. Suppose you love. I mean, at the moment, I can only remember eight ninjas, but there are like I think more than 20. As far as I know, more than 20 music NFT projects, uh, music NFT projects like PFP projects in Cardano, and you will be able to trade them as well in our marketplace. It's just not gonna be only for new musicians. It's gonna be for music NFT projects, emerging musicians, and established musicians. So established musicians, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's official yet, but I had a talk with uh, Mr. Depp's team, Johnny Depp's team, and they gave us a target we need to accomplish first. Then we can do a collaboration with them. So artists like Johnny Depp, Billy Martin, they are in the established routes, right?
Yeah,
Established
yeah.
musicians route, and they're gonna help us. Like they're gonna help us a lot in marketing, in co-marketing. So we're gonna. I mean, there is a lot of. Eventually, our also another vision is to become a marketing company. We're not just gonna be a music marketplace. Is essentially gonna be a marketing company for emerging artists, especially.
Okay. So will you be, or will the community members be able to have some input as to which projects you may be taking a chance on promoting and pushing forward, and either like this month or the next month or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when the marketplace launches, and even before the marketplace, right now, what we are having is we had a small pre-sale back in, I think, at the end of June. We had a small pre-sale. We wanted to do a small pre-sale so we can have some marketing budget to hire mods and other managers, and I mean, just a small pre-sale and see how it goes. And right now, those pre-sale holders, I mean, we are planning to make it so much community driven is that even the name is getting selected by our pre-sale holders. So we are giving them a lot of choices, and they're coming with even even a pre-sale holder came with a design. They are doing designs as well. We are pushing some ideas and names, but there are so much involved that we are happy that this is going exactly what we planned for. A very well community driven marketplace.
No, I mean that sounds pretty awesome. So all of this does beg the question: why princesses?
I mean, when we wanted to start, like, what should be our I mean, this is essentially a seed type C funding, right? and who should be the face of these NFTs we're going to sell and get the fund. And since we essentially finally decided that Cardano is going to be the our go-to blockchain, and the name Ada comes from Ada Lovelace, if you guys didn't know. And Ada Lovelace inspired Ada, and she is the first female computer programmer, right? And I mean, she's such an inspiring to us, especially to me because I'm a computer programmer myself. I had to learn her history, study her back in my school days,
Nice.
and that was my go-to idea. So Ada Lovelace, from Ada Lovelace to Princess Ada, and so basically Princess Ada are princesses from 10 different eras. They feature multiple ethnicities. So in our culture, in our Web3 culture, in the PFP zone or any kind of NFT culture, we see a male-dominated PFPs, right? We don't have we don't have that
Yeah.
much female-dominated
Yeah.
PFPs, and it was kind of our idea to empower women in our way. I mean, we are a, I mean, I mean, even Jordan gets a lot. I mean, team of we are a team of male. Every one of us are like male, all right? So people do come to us like, why are there no female co-founders? So my answer is that I mean it's my vision. It's my vision to support women in this way. So it doesn't have to be a woman to support a woman, right? I mean we get underpinned so many times, right, Jordan, because of this. But I guess
Oh yeah,
uh,
Jordan's done a runner. Look. Right, let's drag
Jordan
him back up here.
he cannot
There's
answer
no
that.
escaping that easy, Jordan.
Oh man, the step down button's right beside the mute buttons. I clicked that one by accident. Um, yeah, we definitely do get it a lot, and I agree with Shaz that it's just good because there is a lot of lack of representation in NFTs across the board. You quite often don't find female representation until you start hitting the fine art side of everything, until you're getting up into photography and fine art NFTs. So it's just really good to see representation of not just females but all sorts of ethnicities um, just displayed, especially on Cardano. It's really good there. We have so many great people from all over the world in this community.
No, I definitely agree with doing whatever we can to support absolutely everyone, especially underrepresented communities, to encourage them to join and do what they can.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you like, uh, suppose you are a person of color, you can get our Mali princess. She represents mainly the African side, and then we also have the Mayan princess who represents the ethnicities from South South America, the Latino side, and we also have the Mughal princess representing South Asia. So yeah. So the idea was to represent women and also to represent different ethnicities, so different people can come and see. I mean, feel confident that someone is there representing their culture,
Yeah.
their ethnicity. So that was the goal. But I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I eventually became a Cardano Maxis. So most people here I've seen they don't even they have not been to so many ICOs I have been to. I mean, from Sunday Swap to VFi to Play Nation to so many stuff, so many right now, so many OG projects that I've been to since the early days. But Cardano community is still very immature. I mean, if the volume, I mean, the amount of work me and Jordan and the whole team has to put every day. I mean, I used to work for a, I mean, I had a good salary, right? I left my work around 5 months ago, funded the project and started.
Yeah, I
But
mean
I'm
that's
gonna say
commitment. That's
it's a
commitment.
very great gesture. You know, we have a we have a good amount of explanation in our royal paper. We have a good roadmap. We have a very clear, precise vision what we are going to do. We are going to AMS, but still, what I'm saying, the Cardano community is still very. They are still in the early stages of what Solana was, only following hype and going to hypes and eventually losing all their money to some hype project. So that's the sad part what I'm saying. But yeah, we are here. We're eventually going to sell out hopefully in September. And Jordan, do you want to say something?
No, I think you're killing it over there, Shaz. And I think we've definitely talked about most of the big parts of the project and what we're working on right now. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, is
one
there
thing I
any
did want
questions?
to make sure everyone's aware that, if you are in the audience and you've got any questions that you'd like the team to answer, fire them into NFT chat, and I'll make sure they get every opportunity to answer anything you may want or need to know.
Yeah, we absolutely love questions, and if I find ones I can't answer, I know I got to do better at my job, so it's really handy for me.
So, going back a little bit towards the artwork side of it, what resolution are the NFTs going to be shipped in?
Shaz, do you want to answer that one?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
What resolution are the NFTs going to be sent to the holders in?
I think it was I think 1080, but 1080 I need to check again. I forgot it was like in July I uploaded everything to NFT Maker Pro. It's very very high resolution.
Okay.
1080 into 1080 I think. It's 4 into 4 space, but it's a very high resolution. You can find it in JPEG store. You can use our policy ID to find the NFTs already. I mean the pre-sale, the minted one. You can see the size, but I'm sorry, I just don't remember
Yeah,
the
I mean,
exact ratio.
I'm just looking at the previews, and I can zoom in a very very long way, and the lines still hold true and crisp, which is always a nice thing to see, especially
Yeah,
when
Thank you
you
so much.
don't
zoom in on
quite
the
think they're
details and
okay.
stuff.
I do. I think they're as high as you can before 4K.
Yeah, I mean, like zoom. I'm zooming in on one of the like the Viking girls with the tattoos on her arms, and like
The
yeah,
Viking faces, they
yeah, they're
can
pretty
even
crazy.
listen to them in full PM.
Though
There's the
I'm sure
music.
YouTube's going to accuse me of zooming in on something else. Actually, looking at that, I should probably zoom out again.
Don't get in trouble now, Tool.
There goes demonetization strike 977. Oh dear. So yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be 1,000 in total. How many? You said you have like 10 different classes is the wrong word, but
10
10
different
areas.
era.
different eras.
Yeah, 10 different areas. How much rarity is there within those different eras?
So 10 different eras, every princesses. So there is like two one by one. So that's completely unique. That's our collab up with CBB, Crypto Baller Bots, and with Occult Archives by Billy Martin. So that's without those two, we have like around 100 each. So two are like 99.99, and the rest are 100 each. And each princesses is essentially providing around 15 variation. So it's almost a 152 plus variations, rarity wise.
Okay. So there's plenty of diversity within the eras then.
Yep, there are lots of items in there, a couple of backgrounds. Then everyone has three, so every era has three tracks. So even music-wise, there is a rarity.
Okay. So like, how many of the NFTs would have the rarest track, for instance, within an era? Would it be like 5 or 10 or 20 or?
Uh, I think it's 10%,
Okay,
and in some cases, yeah, it's like around 10%. So
okay. So,
no, I'm sorry, it's almost around 20%.
okay. So
Yeah,
yeah. So very achievable for somebody that wants to collect a full set then.
yeah, absolutely.
So will there be any advantages to somebody that wants to mint sort of like either a full set of tracks or for having one of each era princess?
I actually
No, they
don't
have to
think there's been
go
any
the regular
brainstorming.
process.
That's Yeah, that's actually a really good idea to for a future moving plan for a couple special giveaways or something within the community. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, sort of like, I mean, having a princess from every era, that's got to count for something, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you're giving us good ideas, but currently the plan is, I mean, random mint. You have to, you- I mean, your luck will give you the best, I guess. But eventually, you can buy from the secondary marketplaces, right? Since we're
Yeah.
verified in JPEG Store, and that gives a bit more adventure side if you want to actually collect, rather than, I mean, it's gonna be tough for me to give everyone a personalized minting experience. That will be very tough
Well,
and expensive.
I can't imagine that there'll be a huge number of people that get one from each era. There is only a certain supply of them as well, after all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
that
would be great because yeah, like Shaz was saying, because of the randomness that would require for them to
Yeah.
most likely have to dip through the secondary and really put in that effort. So it's a really good idea to think about moving forward on rewarding people who have either a large quantity or go for the one of each. Maybe we'll make it like a specialty thing.
Yeah, and
The first person to get one of each will get a special a special NFT or something special from within our community.
yeah, might give the rewards a little bit of a boost. The work to earn rewards a little bit of a nice early boost as well.
Absolutely, that's actually a
absolutely. I,
really good
I
idea.
really
Thank
like
you.
the idea. Thank you, Toolsin. I mean, I think I'm noting it right down as you said. And yeah, it's a genius idea. I mean, it's a fun way, and it's a fun way for us to make some money from the secondary sales, and also give that back to the community.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's the kind of promotion where everybody can feel like they've won a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, obviously, it's actually quite a unusual challenge that you guys have taken on as it goes, because obviously on the one hand you're reaching out to the NFT and CNFT community, to take part in the project and give you seed funding and everything like that. But you've also, you're also then turning around. You're having to market to a whole different section of people with obviously with very different technological habits and the way they access things, and obviously views on the crypto markets in general aren't great right now. I
Yeah,
mean, you said you've got
I mean it's a beer
terrible with
market.
names. I can't remember his name now, but the guy from Good Charlotte. But obviously, do you have much in the way of plans of raising funding for advertising, or like a guerrilla marketing campaign, or how are you planning on reaching out for the artists to come to you guys to make their start as blockchain minting?
So that's a very good question. And what we're going to do is, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we started in a beer market, and if we successfully sell out, I'm pretty sure we will. I mean, we had like less than 400 members starting in August. Right now, we have almost 800 plus members. So they are coming every day. People are engaging. The community is growing. Absolutely. And if we're gonna sell out in a beer market, I mean, I'm gonna be proud. We are gonna market it every day that we sold out in a beer market. But yeah, reaching out to the emerging artists, we will have a special, how do you say, special recruiting program. So it's gonna be. I'm not gonna go into the details because I want to, because we have a very very number, uh, around four competitors currently making or in some process of creating their own marketplaces for music NFTs, like Project Neum, Soundbreak, and there are two others. I don't remember the names at the moment, but I'm just gonna give you an idea. So just to answer your question, we will have a reward program for producers, for managers, for agencies, to provide us with those young, talented artists. That, I mean, eventually we are also going to verify if that artist they recommend is quality or not. I'm not saying they have to be bad or famous. They have to be very good or famous. But we are going to do our due diligence as well to provide a good quality, because essentially those artists are our product for our users, right? So we need to at least do our own verification to provide a good quality product. Yeah, so they are going to provide us with the artists, and we are also going to have our own people. We are going to hire talent recruiters, and they're going to find artists for them, deliver our message, and essentially get them onboarded. We're going to have support for Web 2 artists, also support for Web 3 musicians who are new to Cardano. We already have an education channel in our
Yeah.
Discord for any kind of new users to get onboarded to Cardano.
So, is it something that you thought about perhaps reaching out directly to recording studios as well? As it
Yeah,
might be
absolutely.
something that could be sold as a white label service, for instance. Um,
Um, we are not a music producing. Essentially, what you will see us is just like JPEG Store, just like OpenSea, but only for music NFTs, right? But we're going to have a marketing side as well. So at the bottom, you will see. Suppose you click on our website, you log into our. I mean, not log in. I mean, you go to our website, and on the front page, you will see at the top marketing. We are marketing about our artists, right? Emerging artists or
yeah,
established artists, and on the bottom you are going to see the NFTs. So we're not going to be a white label company, but we're going to have a reward program for producers or agencies who has a lot of young talented artists under them, and they are going to be. It's going to be a very. I just cannot like fully disclose the program. I really
yeah,
want to, because we just had a conversation with a similar. They are not an agency, but they have lots of musicians under them. We fully fully discussed the whole process, and they really liked, and they wanted to onboard with us. So that was just an experiment we did, just to understand how the reactions will be. And yeah, I think that will be an awesome way to bring them. But at the moment, I cannot disclose the full process. I'm
Um,
sorry.
so will you guys be providing a minting service as well, or is it more geared
Yeah.
to
So
yeah?
mhm. So essentially, I mean, we do want to provide. It's gonna be we do want to provide a minting service, but maybe we will see other best options like partnering with a third party, and they will be helping us with the minting service. They will get exposure and whatnot, other partnership agreements and stuff. That will be, I think, that will be easier and a more bring more branding value.
Okay. Because I mean, I'm a little bit confused. In the sense
Hmm.
that in some ways, you know, you're talking and acting like you're going to be an open marketplace. But then another,
Yeah.
it's like you're almost acting like you're going to be more of your own record label as well. So you're only going to be selling like um, a curated set of NFTs as opposed to any artist that wants to
No,
create their own music NFT come along.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, any.
I think the thing is that Shaz is talking about our one of our pipelining side ones. So if artists are within the marketplace, because it will be an open marketplace, anyone will be allowed to make accounts and be able to sell and stuff like that. But if these artists do reach out, and it's like the JPEG launchpads or any of the launchpads, if they reach out for those services, we will have services that can help them get featured to the front page of the website and of the marketplace and get them out there with a little bit of marketing and get shared by our Twitter, shared within our Discord. That'll just be an option to these artists if they want to take it a step further and try and market themselves into the community and get bigger that way. Otherwise, it still will be an open marketplace for anybody to come up and start a profile and use. We'll just have services available like most of the marketplaces do that are just a paid for, get featured on our front page, get featured in our Discord kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah. I say because I mean I think there's definitely room for expansion in the market, especially when you're looking at as much as everybody everybody wants to be Taylor Swift. In reality, so much of the music industry is supported by you know those groups of friends that go gigging week in week out, rehearsing down their rehearsal room, doing a gig this weekend, doing a gig next weekend. And those guys, they'll put an album together. It might sell 50 copies, might sell 100 copies. But it might be that those guys. Well, you know what? Let's break into the blockchain thing. I've heard of Kings of Leon doing it, and Kaiser Chiefs, and whoever else has been up to it again recently. Let's do the same thing, and I'll do it on Cardano with Princess Ada.
The name is not gonna be our Princess Ada window. It's gonna be it's
Well,
what
yeah,
it
with whatever name you end up going with. Which have you had any thoughts on
uh,
that yet?
so I mean, what Jordan said is exactly correct. Jordan, do you want to say something, or should I?
Um, yeah, we actually have a channel for some of our OGs to discuss names, and it is like I said, going to go to the voting of to the princess holders for voting and helping us move forward as some of the governance. It'll of course be left up to the team uh, at the end of it, but we do want to use the community for their knowledge and what they think and their opinions. And they are actually a lot of them are creating their own names to put into the pool, and a lot of them are actually creating uh, like images to back the names. They've been making little like signs and stuff like that as well. So it's been really cool.
So
Getting back.
oh, I was going to say. So I know you've already covered this a little bit already, but there's somebody who's asked a question in chat about whether you could explain the work to earn stuff again. So perhaps maybe go into a little bit more
Yeah,
detail as
absolutely,
to
absolutely,
the different things people might be asked to do for that.
absolutely. So uh, it's more clearly explained in our wallpaper. So if you go to our website, there is a wallpaper. Also, if you go to our Discord, there is a wallpaper channel you can go. It's a Gitbook. It's like very clearly explained, but I'm gonna explain here just for you since you asked. It's gonna be mainly the main condition is for you to hold our Princess Ada, and the second condition is to for you to participate in our sub communities like music or like fan art and there will be few sub communities in our Discord. For example, movies. These are mainly it's not a mandatory for you to like go there and talk every day. It's just we're gonna have a KPI kind of KPI stuff, and we're gonna have an observer just for making a legal overview. So if anyone comes and asks if we're exactly doing what we're saying, just for that. But the mandatory part is to hold our Princess Ada and to have fun in the community. So you just enjoy, be who you are in the community, just talk with your friends, help us build a strong community, and that's it. Nothing more or nothing less.
So another question that's obviously going to get asked at some point fairly soon is what kind of fees you're going to be taking on the marketplace.
It's gonna be around. I think the average what we are seeing right now is 2%. So it's gonna be from 1 to 2%.
Okay, no, that's fairly standard at this point. I think, yeah, I think JPEG might even be two.
Yeah, I mean
Is JPEG
that's
two
kind of
percent or
like
two and
the
a half percent?
average
I
one.
can't remember now. But yeah, that's generally around the area that they all are anyway. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, you need to make some money to keep the servers on, right?
yeah. I mean, I think 2% is it's a good amount. I mean, we are not yet five. I mean, more than 2% sounds very odd. Even we're planning to have less than 2%.
And
I
I
mean,
mean,
around 1 to 2% based on fixed rate. It will depend
I
on a
mean,
kind of on lots of stuff. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, on that note, what percentage royalties will there be on the princesses?
So it's 15%, and I need to
That's a
check the
larger than
breakdown.
usual amount, if I heard that correctly.
Yeah, so it's because essentially we want people to hold, but 15% we have it explicitly written in our wallpaper where the royalties will be going, and from 15%, a team is going to take a very less amount. I mean, let me just make sure. Let me check and royalties. Yeah, so around 6% will go to developing our marketplace. So it's a small fund coming. We want a small fund coming, always coming from the NFTs who will be selling, and 4% will go to the team, and 5% will go to our community treasury until the work to earn format is set. So it's
Okay.
gonna go to the community treasury, and we're going to give away to our community in different ways, in legal ways, until the work to earn. I mean, until our work contract is not ready yet. Our smart contract is not ready yet.
No, I mean, it sounds very good.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, essentially, people want to sell, right? So even with the higher price, you're going to sell what you want to sell at, right?
yeah,
So yeah, and distributing it in an efficient way seems like our go-to idea, or I mean, fits in our goal. So the community, if someone don't want, you don't want to hold, okay, so give some percentage back to the community, give some percentage back to developing our marketplace.
yeah,
So even when you're selling, you're participating, you're helping us grow our community, grow our marketplace. That was the kind of goal before. I mean, 15% essentially for 1,000 pieces doesn't give that much. So I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
that was the plan.
and that's the thing. I mean, you want people to be minting because they believe in the project, not because they want to flip it and make a tin of beans for their kid to eat that night. Like,
Exactly.
okay, well, I don't sound very nice now, do I? So yeah, maybe you do want that
But
guy minting and flipping, but
But you're right. We do want these, especially these ones. These are the seed fund. It's a low number of NFTs being sold. We do want to see them in the hands of people who want to see us grow and help us grow and be a part of that community. That's also why the work to earn system, to really encourage these people that to be the holders if they're trying to work with us and help us and grow with us and see the future with us, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the one thing that kind of gets lost is that you're in some you're building rewards that rely on there being an active secondary market, but in the same at the same time you're very much incentivizing long term holding, which in a project with a low number of NFTs, it's probably not going to leave that many circulating to build your rewards for the work to earn and for the community treasury and everything else going on. It's like
yeah, I mean, the idea
it's
was
like you're trying
never
to have
to
it
like
both ways. And
spend.
yes, I mean there's a line that that you can walk, but it's interesting seeing how you guys are trying to do that.
I mean, if we go back to 6 months ago, we have been studying intensively how to have a sustainable tokenomics. So I mean, in the Cardano community, that's what I was saying. Everyone is mature. They don't ask. I mean, if you go to Binance, any kind of Binance project, if you go to any kind of Solana project, if you go to any kind of Ethereum project, they're gonna first ask what is the tokenomics, where can I see the tokenomics, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So the Cardano community, they don't ask because they are very much immature still. They are very much hype intrigued. But since I knew that if I want to have a sustainable, if I want to have a long-term goal, I need to have a sustainable tokenomics. It's very important to have a sustainable tokenomics. Minting million token doesn't get you anywhere.
no,
Having a, I mean, not having a, I mean, the plan doesn't usually go along that way, but at least not having plans to to at least give a upward push to your tokens, right? So you need to have some kind of sustainable way to do it. So that was
yeah,
our goal, to have a sustainable tokenomics, and everything that we are doing is essentially to have a healthy growth in the long term. Wise, we are not planning to depend on just the royalties to develop. It's just an it's just a added push to give more upward push to the tokenomics.
yeah,
What includes in the tokenomics? Our NFTs and also our non-fungible tokens and our fungible tokens.
And this is also why we're trying to be very open and honest about the fact that these are the utility tokens and that this is seed funding. We're not trying to sell this project as some massive project that's going to go to the moon on its own. This is we do want to represent this as a long-term investment, and so that our investors know that this is what they're getting into. That's why we do have our roadmaps. We update them as often as we can, or as often as things change, and we do try to communicate to our like to our community as well.
yeah. I mean, it sounds awesome, and obviously I've spoken to Shaz a number of times over the months, and I know how dedicated you guys actually are. Probably more than most actually. And
Thank you
yeah,
so much. Thank you.
like I mean, yeah. I mean, I've been chat. How long have I been chatting to you off and on for now?
I think 3 months
Oh,
at this.
I know. I'm sure it's been longer than that. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was a long time ago, actually.
Hope so, hope so. And no, I mean, you have helped us a lot of times with the giveaways, with listing couple of times, relisting couple of times, and now the AMS, and hopefully another giveaway soon in the Discord.
It could happen. We'll have to leave it a minute, but it could happen. It could happen.
Okay. And
Oh yeah.
also, I want to, yeah, yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you if there was anything else that we've somehow missed mentioning that you wanted to bring up.
I mean, essentially, what we're seeing here is everything properly explained in our royal paper, but I'm just gonna add just for properly under so that everyone properly understand what kind of tokenomics we're building. And our plan was to have a community-driven marketplace, right? And essentially, to have a community-driven marketplace, we have to have a community-driven tokenomics, and which also has to be a sustainable tokenomics. So many overwhelming stuff, but the thing is, it wasn't necessary, and we researched well. We gave our, I mean, before even making any kind of marketing, we properly researched how to build a sustainable tokenomics. So if you hold one of our princesses, you will be gifted. So you will be airdropped one of our companion NFTs. So this will be our second drop, and they are the companion pets, mythical pets for our princesses, and they will be used for staking. No, I mean they will be used for farming through a staking mechanism, and our community, our holders will be able to farm 40% of our tokens, fungible to, fungible tokens,
Oh, nice.
the native tokens, the Cardano native tokens we will have in our marketplace.
Cool. And what will those tokens be usable to purchase or exchange for?
So again, it's properly explained in our royal paper in tokenomics, but I'm gonna explain as much as I can, as much as I remember, because it's very overwhelming, and there's lots of use cases, but I'm just gonna explain major use cases. So we're gonna have our fungible tokens. You can use our fungible tokens to buy at a discounted price. Also use ADA to buy at ADA price. I mean buy at usual price. So discounted price is gonna only be onto projects that we are launching in our launch pads. So there will be a different agreements with projects that we will be our emerging musicians that we will be bringing through our launchpad program. So, and you can only use our tokens there, and there will be certain stuff like merchandises from musicians. Suppose ToolSin, you are a musician, right? You come to our launchpad and say that these are my work. Do I qualify to get in your scholarship pipeline? And we say, yeah, you can join our pipeline, and these are the terms and conditions. And people who has our token are going to be able to mint your NFT at a discounted price, and if you use ADA, they are going to get at a usual price, right? Suppose you have to spend 100 ADA using our token, or 120 ADA using
Oh,
only ADA.
sorry.
Okay,
Apologies. One second.
yeah, bless you.
Oh, flipping heck. Apologies. I'm usually at a four in a row, not
Oh,
five.
God bless you. God bless you. You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm all good again now.
Okay. So as I was saying, so you will be able to buy and sell from these secondary marketplaces using our native token. Also, there will be some special use cases where you can only use our tokens, like getting a special song sung by one of our musicians. So there will be a profile for musicians where they can uh, sell their skills if if I'm making sense. So they will
Yeah.
be able to sell their skills. Suppose you're the musician, right? So someone likes your voice and they say, "Can you sing Happy Birthday for my mom?" And you say, "Yes." So this is my rate, 20 of our token, that native token, and they need to use our native token to make that order. And then you can also sell your merchandise using our token. So it's gonna be everything essentially gonna be non-custodial, but we're gonna have a process involving the communication method as well.
Okay. No, yeah, that's that. Yeah, that plenty of things to spend your token on.
Yeah,
Do
there
you,
is a
do
total,
you
I
have a
think,
name for
seven
your
use cases.
token?
Not yet. After the mark, I mean, we didn't mint our token. You see projects, they are minting tokens like straight away.
Yeah,
NFT project coming up, their tokens minted. Right now, they're distributing, using it as their marketing strategy. Yes, absolutely. I'm not discriminating them. I'm not saying they're doing a bad stuff, but we have a principle. I mean, our team will only get around, I think, 5% tokens will go to the team, to the founders, and essentially there has to be a smart contract placed for the vested tokens. We don't have a smart contract yet ready, so that's why we didn't mint and name the token.
makes
If
sense.
I mean uh, it's gonna take around 5 years for the advisory tokens to go through, 7 years for the team members, founders. I think around five. I don't exactly remember the year, number of years, but it's gonna be like around 5 to 7 years until the whole tokenomics is diluted. Okay, and
Right.
for that there needs to be a smart contract in place for the vested tokens. That's why we didn't mint our name,
Yeah, I
just to
mean
make it,
that's
just to
that.
keep it in our principle.
You see, that's the thing. That's something that's quite commonplace to have a smart contract lock up the sort of like funds, sort of like for founders and stuff like that. But it's not something that's really been done so much over here, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm as I was saying, Cardano community is still very early. They still don't understand how the community should work, how projects should, uh, I mean, how projects should introduce themselves. So that's the thing. But eventually, I think after understanding how unstable millions of tokens are, billions of tokens are, I mean, without a proper smart contract in place, without understanding how, I mean, right now, if there is no vested smart contract, any of the founders can cash out. They can, I mean,
Yeah,
dilute the
quite
price,
quote
right?
unquote rug
And
pull,
that's a
right?
scary thing. That's a very scary thing.
And we actually have seen that recently with a few projects. Um, so yeah, I think within Cardano we just haven't seen it because of how hard it is to develop these smart contracts. Finding a good Plutus engineer or Haskell developer who can write a good smart contract for that. That a lot of projects are just skipping that part because the community is letting them,
Yeah, I
and just
mean,
being
you
like
know,
based on
in
trust, right?
Cardano's
Trust the
defense,
system.
smart contracts haven't been around as long, and a lot of the processes aren't understood yet, I don't think. But yeah, I think it's something that's, it's one of those bits of the puzzle that need to fall in place to be taken seriously by other marketplaces such as Ethereum and so on and so forth.
Absolutely, because if these smart contracts aren't in place, then we're talking about trust in our trustless system, right?
Yeah,
We are trusting these developers and these projects to do the proper thing over what might feel like the best thing for them,
yeah,
the
yeah,
proper
for
thing for the
sure.
community over the best thing for them. So, yeah, I think it does definitely need to be something that can step towards being another standard within our community, and I believe it will be. So it's always good to think of those future future aspects and incorporate things into these projects.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but yeah, taking a little bit more of a fun turn before we start thinking about wrapping up. What was your guys' first CNFTs that you minted?
I
Very good question.
I'll let Shaz go first.
I think it was DeFi and Purple NFT that I was gifted for participating in the ICO.
Nice.
Then I had Clay Nation, Ugly Bros, Vegemites. I'm not sure which one was first in that PFP side, but first NFT in Cardano was VFi Purple.
Nice.
VY Finance Purple NFT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's a pretty cool one to have actually.
Yeah, what a lucky
Yeah.
jerk got it as part of being in the community. I missed that part. I had to buy into Wi-Fi's community in November.
I mean,
um,
like, yeah, I mean, I think that was one that I tried and didn't know about it until it was way too late. So, and then thought, sod
Good
this,
one.
and took my bag and went home.
I'm sorry, ToolSin. That's my fault. I pretty much single-handedly did like jacked the price on Wi-Fi. I was I was the cause for it to going from 350 to 700, and then the cause for it going from 700 to 3,000. I did all the
Oh,
math, I actually put it in the hands of like Hero and a bunch of the other space members, like Hero Pool and stuff like that, and then Linda as well, like Malu and Pool, and I and that jacked the price from like the 400 range to the 700 range. And then actually back in January when they did the release of the Wi-Fi actual token and did the staking on that, I actually ran all the mathematics that ran the Wi-Fi purple from the 700 range up to the 3,000 range. I did all the math for the community so they could see the actual staking power between the two, and it jacked
damn.
the price today as well.
That was you. Yeah. Yeah, Jordan was doing the maths in Discord.
So,
Yeah,
so,
and
Yeah.
then
so, so,
Logan
so, if I
posted all
needed
the
any more proof that I'm the thicko in a room, I just got that right there. Then.
As for my first CNFT, my first CNFT was the Space Buds on the second day, and
Wow.
I'm actually the one who
Wow.
the Space Buds rarity chart. If you remember that from back in
Oh
the old
Jesus,
Discord days,
yeah, I do. Damn, that's
um,
going back some.
it it actually shows up if you Google it. It's the rarity chart that I created. Also with my buddy at the time, we created the Reddit pages, the Facebook group, all for Space Buds. And I actually in March, end of March and early April, on Facebook, I was doing evaluations for Space Buds for people. They were messaging me and sending me pictures of their Space Buds, and I was breaking down all the rarities based on the rarity chart that I built and explaining how valuable it was, and rarities that weren't included in their actual metadata, like background rarities and stuff like that. Like I was breaking all those down, and we had included all those into our rarity charts and stuff too.
Damn. And then tools
Yeah,
came
so
along.
yeah, actually, in our Facebook group, I meant to go back and try and grab a screenshot of it at some point to post. There's actually people posting the Discord link for Stale's CNFT Discord, the first CNFT Discord.
Oh
They're
damn.
posting the links to get people out of the Facebook group and onto Discord in our Facebook group.
Oh, flipping heck.
Yeah,
Oh
so
no.
I've been in the community since pretty much the beginning. It's funny, I'd actually just gotten into crypto in the January before that, and ended up on the SpaceBuds thing because I was looking into Cardano at the time, and me and my buddy had just swapped all of our stuff into Cardano. We had just made some money on some other coins, and had just swapped it all into ADA. And then he messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I found this weird link in like a deep Reddit post. It's to a Cardano NFT sale. I didn't even think they could do that yet. This might be the first one. Let's get in on it because it's cheap. So even if we lose it and it turns out to be fake, at least we're not out that much." And so yeah, we
Yeah.
sank in and
Facts.
we bought four Space Buds on the second day.
You see, I had the chance to mint Space Buds, and I I don't know. I mean, I had my head turned by another project at the time anyway, but it just wasn't my thing. I was like, oh, you know what, I'll take everybody's advice and I'll mint what I like. And Space Boss wasn't quite
Mhm.
my thing, so I didn't mint it. I did the same thing with Claymation as well, as well as
Oh,
the Ape
Oh, you
Society
missed the
and
best
what
Disco
happened?
project.
Solaris and
Did you see what happened with Space Buds and then get roped into the C bits, Cardano bits?
oh no, I stayed away from all that thankfully.
Oh man, I was there for the Cardano bit situation too. I actually think I'm the first person to have killed a project, a CNFT project as well. Back in like May of that year, 2021, I also like forced a project to stop because they're acting shady, and I called them out and doxed their team.
Oh, Jesus.
Dang.
So yeah, I think I'm going to become quite happy that you stayed around those parts and not around mine.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting time back there. It was a lawless place where we were just doing trades on Discord,
Oh Jesus,
es-
some of those
escrow
auctions as
free.
well. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, and the escrows, just everybody was an escrow.
Oh God, yeah, and like I mean, you go into like these Discord servers, and there'd literally be like 250 different auctions, and like most of them for stuff that was never going to sell for more than like 3 ADA even back then.
Oh yeah, stuff that they're grouping up. I remember
Yeah.
seeing some of those for like 25 NFTs, and it was like 16 ADA, 25
Yeah.
ADA. Oh, those are crazy times. It's crazy how much we've like developed since then and where we are now through all of these.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we went we did so well without even a marketplace. Like, it's, you know, we the amount of trade that was going on without any type of marketplace was crazy.
Oh, like we must have done millions in volume that nobody could see because nobody
Yeah.
could track it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, there was always auctions popping off, like 10K here, 5K there, 15K for this pneumonium, 20K for this whatever, like, it was crazy. What was it? Like, oh, unsigs as well. I mean, unsigs were all the rage back then.
Yeah, I never. Still, I want to. I mean, I want to buy one and six. Cannot afford it at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. The lady seems to be getting cheaper every day.
And what was your first NFT?
My first Cardano NFT was a Cardano, or more accurately, 20 of them.
Oh
um,
man, I remember the pre-Space Bud FTs. Was that one of the pre-Space Bud ones?
so I believe it was the third 10K project to mint, but we were the first one to sell out. I say we. I started as a friend of a friend, sort of like help, do the pre shilling and everything like that, because I was pretty much bored and off sick. Really fell in love with the project. Sort of like I was a friend of a friend of Brad's anyway. And then yeah, I fell in love with the project and just went with it. And I then later on ended up being added to the team, first on a part-time basis and then on a full-time basis. So I'm one of those guys that even though I have absolutely no programming knowledge whatsoever, I've managed to carve out a space for myself in the CNFT space, which is I'm eternally grateful for.
You were
No, I mean
you were
you
inspiration
marketed
to me because
and
I'm also
well,
no development experience.
So yeah, I mean, I literally never had a Twitter account before I joined Cardano's.
really.
Literally, no. I mean, my personal opinion is that I don't like Twitter. It's great for certain things,
Yeah,
but
I think every one of us here came to Twitter just for the NFT and crypto stuff.
Yeah,
Other
I
than
mean,
that,
I hate a lot of what Twitter has done to the world. But hey, it's good for NFTs, so I'm there now, right? Which
it's
is
very
pretty
good for
much like most
NFTs.
people on Twitter, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely, pretty much just for this stuff. I mean,
but yeah, I mean, I had
because
no marketing background, but I did used to help manage and run some gaming communities back in the day. So bit of like community managery type experience, but without the skill set that you'd usually find in a community manager.
I I actually have a little bit of a background in finance. Um, it's what I went to college for, and I was in stocks before I was in crypto. Um, so that's kind of where I came from, was just the finance side. And then once I got into NFTs, I started learning more and more and reading all these white papers and stuff like that until I became the self-proclaimed CNFT critic, and I would just slam projects all the time on everything.
that's why we
I have
took
had so
Jordan
many times
so
like,
that he doesn't criticize our project. That was the only reason, Jordan. I need to be honest.
oh yeah, you came in actually for a while last year. I was doing a minting service, talking projects through their minting process, just because I was sick of how terrible all the mints were
Oh
up till that
God, yeah.
point.
I mean,
It was
there
actually
was some legitimate technology barriers to some mints and why they're messed up. I mean, sort of like you go
Well, I
back to
heard of,
some of the peaks where the tennis bots came out, and people are being hit by 500,000 hits a second. Like,
well,
no queuing system in the world's going to save you on that one.
well, that's actually what got me in, like heavily into doing that, especially was that the Pavia sale.
Yeah,
One of their first ones, where I was like, you guys put up a link just on a website on the front page. There was no click a button even. Like you didn't have to go to a second page, nothing like that. You just had to mint, or you just had to go to the front page of the website, and the address was just there. And then
yeah,
even after they knew you pulled out, the address was available for 15 more minutes. I
yeah.
was like, guys, come on,
Yeah, but
like,
didn't they? How many millions did they? How many millions did they take in that time though?
they had to
That
send back
refund amount was
4.5 million ADA.
insane.
Yeah, they had to refund 4.5 million ADA, which at the time ADA was almost $3. So it was something like 11 million US dollars worth of ADA
Yeah,
had to be refunded, and it ended up taking them like 10 days, and then they were on Twitter talking it up like, look how many people wanted our project, look
yeah.
how much we have to refund. And I was like, you wouldn't have had to refund anything if you'd set up some sort of a mint system.
But that was the thing. I mean, that was what we had back in those days. I mean, we had a drop with Cardano's with the Cardano's project, and we were being hit by the bots and everything like that. Literally every time we flipped a button to turn everything on to start minting, insta crash. And literally the only way we could get them out was to literally just drop the address in Discord and have people send to it, and it was just the only way we could even get them out the door. Because we couldn't post it on a website because we it was like as literally as soon as you opened it, it was just dead.
yeah, and
Yeah,
for
and
whitelist, you
Scale
have
coming
to
out with that
open it
command line
24/7.
didn't help.
Yeah, that CLI did not help at all. Though, I mean,
It came a long
it
way.
was
It
always
came a
going
long
on. He just publicised it, to be fair, because it was going on elsewhere. Oh, that's killed the conversation.
Uh, yeah,
But yeah,
a little bit.
yeah, it was blatantly going on elsewhere, but it wasn't as widely known until he did it.
Yeah, somebody had to be the villain. Thankfully, it was Stale.
I mean, everybody hated him every time he took every time CNFT.io went down. So might as well take the blame for that as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, didn't he end up like giving a load of them away in the end, or something?
I actually don't think he did, because he said he was going to put 100 of them to 100 people. He was going to teach how to do what he did. and then I don't think anybody actually joined his course, getting taught how to do what he did with everything.
Sorry, Buzz. I've got a lot of respect for the guy, but that's fucking funny.
Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious at the time too. Like the amount of people that are freaking out, and it's like you're only freaking out because there's finally a face to a bot. Like,
Yeah.
but if it was any other time, if he hadn't stepped forward, we all would have just been like, "It got botted. That happens." And then Stale stepped forward, and everyone was like, "Demonize that man."
Oh, you see, this is why I love these AMAs because, like, you get through all the business stuff and you get through all the, the project stuff and everything like that, and then you can just have a conversation afterwards. And it's these moments where you find out what makes a team. Like
Yeah,
it's because
absolutely,
it's
absolutely.
you connect this way as opposed to dri- driving
I,
out the facts and then saying see you later.
no, also, I mean, me and Jordan, we are like a pair. We go to all the AMS together because uh, I know I have a bad accent, and Jordan is always there to like explain what I already explained, right? But it also depends because you are giving such a positive vibe, such a good atmosphere. You're making it fun. You're making the experience for us to provide a voice to your community in a very positive way. We went to a lot of spaces where my first space I'm just not gonna name, and Jordan was also there. The first one I was called a. It was the very first one, right? We didn't even have like 50 members, and
Yeah,
they called me. I mean, they say I'm like a, you know, I'm going to rock the project or something like that. Something along the
Ugh,
way of a scammer.
yeah.
It
I
was
mean, there's
very
no need
insulting,
for
and
it.
I never went back to the space. I never went back to the space.
No, I don't blame you. Like, it's. I mean, yeah, there's no need for it at that stage. Like, if somebody's exhibiting, rug signs, then I guess you got to say what you feel. But there's no point saying that to a project that's literally just starting out.
yeah, we were
I mean,
coming forward
yeah,
into this space
we
of
will
like,
call
come
you
join our
for sure.
Discord, come meet us, help us out, talk to us, ask questions. If you have skills, come help us. We're just starting out and we want to make the most of this. And yeah, they were not very receptive. They're,
Yeah, I
they're also the
mean,
ones that got kind of stuck on the fact that we were a male team
And
too.
every one
They
of
really
them
wanted to
had
circle back for that over and over again.
the upsetting thing was, I'm not gonna say we are mad about it. Still, I mean, we we developed so much after that. I mean, it has been like at least 5 months ago. We developed a lot, right? So we're not upset about that. But during that time, that was my first AMA, and Jordan introduced. He said, "This is our first AMA. We're going to make some mistake. We're going to ask for some helps, and every those things." Like we were totally honest, right? And I was the only person with my original face, my name, and everyone who was saying I was gonna be essentially a scammer or some. They didn't say it directly, but meant it that way.
yeah,
Everyone had a fake name and a Web3 PFP. I'm not judging that you're gonna have. I mean, first, I'm being totally honest here, right? And it was my first. Either way, it doesn't matter much right now. But yeah, you're giving a very, very positive vibe. You're giving that. That's why we are still here, not just because it's an AMA. It also depends on who is hosting the AMA.
yeah.
How is the person? That matters a lot to us.
I mean, for me, it's not about sharing my opinions on a project, though I invariably do share opinions here and there. It's more for me to elicit the best information from you guys to educate the people that are tuning in and listening. Like it's not for me to make up their minds. It's for me to get the information for them to make up their minds. So
Absolutely, and
what
that
what
should be
what
the
I
way.
think
That should
doesn't
be the
really matter at the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, that should be the way. You as a host, you're supposed to ask uh, intriguing questions in a positive manner. I mean, we get always excited when people ask tough questions because we prepared for it for a long time. So just like good students who are always very eager to answer to the teachers, we are also very eager to answer to any kind of questions, right? We might miss the questions, we might uh, make I mean, we might say that we're going to come back to you later on and explain it again. This situation might come up, but we are always open to a honest discussions. That should be the way, but it should also be in a positive way, which you are showing today. I mean, which you are showing. Not everyone shows that, and I really appreciate it today and your time, and also Jordan and everyone who is coming. Cold Fusion, Soul, Kinur, Josh, we saw you. Thank you guys for coming. And yeah, so I'm not closing the AMA, just
No, I
saying
mean,
that I appreciate everyone.
unfortunately, it's getting a little late here myself, and I've got a ton of things to do as well. So,
Mhm.
and I've also got a wifey who's probably waiting for me. So, it's probably fairly good timing to wrap it up anyway. To be honest, um, but yeah, I do want to extend a huge thank you to you guys for turning up and bearing your souls and your project soul for examination. It's always a slight, it
Oh,
doesn't matter how many times you do it, there's always that little tinge of what's going to happen next. And
yeah,
yeah.
that's true. That's true.
And yeah, obviously I want to
Absolutely.
give a big shout out to everyone that's tuned in and listened in, and for anyone that is still listening in on YouTube. Your view is very much appreciated, and as with your like and share and subscribe and all that social media goodness. Feel free to make sure this video gets out to any budding musicians who may be looking for a new avenue of thought. And yeah, again,
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you guys. And if you want to give any final details before we close out.
I'd just like to say
I
thank you
mean,
for hosting
yeah,
us. Hello to
go on,
YouTube,
Jordan.
and thank you for everybody tuning in. Um, I don't think we have any last info, but I'd love to see everybody pop up in the Discord, say hi. And if you have any further questions, we are always active in that Discord. There is somebody in there, whether it's one of our mods, whether it's me, whether it's Shaz directly. That is a very active Discord, and we love questions, and we will answer them to the best of our knowledge. And if it's really good, we'll add it to our other channels, our announcements and stuff like that, and make sure everybody knows those things. So, yeah, thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, thank you again, guys. And again, all the links are below: Twitter, Discord, and website. So check out those guys. Say hello from cnfd.tools, and we'll see you all again soon.
Bye bye.
Cheerio.